I quickly put on makeup like 5 minutes ago. Anyway, let's get right into it. You've read the title. I'm making a sweater for my boyfriend for his birthday. His birthday is on the 21st of July, the national holiday of Belgium. Hello. Malabrigo Yarns was kind enough to send me some of their yarns for me to make the sweater. I'm quickly gonna run you through the materials that I'm using to make this sweater, what pattern we're using, and who it's by, and then we'll just like get started with the vlogging process basically, because I'm gonna vlog this because it's gonna take me a while because he's big, okay? So, because I'm a very impatient person, I've already opened up the packaging and actually wound up one of the skeins already. So the yarn that I chose, my boyfriend and I kind of went through the website together and I let him choose the colors. He wanted a striped sweater. Maybe I should start with what pattern we're using. So I'm gonna be making the Wanaka Sweater by Andie Knits. I don't know if it's actually pronounced Wanaka because I'm pretty sure it's Maori. Not sure, sorry, just because she's from New Zealand and it has the accent on Wanaka. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's Maori. And I have been wanting to make another sweater for him because I've made one sweater for him, which was the Moby Sweater Man by Petite Knit, but that one is getting a little too tight. And just because I find it really hard to come up with like cute birthday presents or just presents in general, knitting something is always 100 times better in my opinion than just buying something because it's so much more heartfelt. I just enjoy doing it and I don't believe in the boyfriend sweater curse. So we went through the website together and it was pretty hard. We were pretty set on the color combination of white and dark blue because the pattern has this like button up, like quarter button up part, and for some reason we just kind of like thought that would go perfectly with white and blue stripes. So we are doing that, but we were looking through the website and I was suggesting we would work with Malabrigo Rios because that's what I made my chestnut sweater with and I just really enjoyed working with it and it was super soft and like the perfect thickness. But he didn't really like the selection of blues that were in there in that range, so we ended up with the Tierras yarn, which is a little thinner than the Rios, and it's also a different combination. This one is 50% merino and 50% baby alpaca, and since his birthday is during the summer, I think this will go pretty well. It'll be a little warm, but merino is pretty, how do you say that? It manages kind of your temperature. So it is a little thinner, but it's super, super soft. And the first color we got is just Natural. It's 063 Natural. And the second color we got was, I think, Azul Profundo, which is a color of 150. It's a rich, dark azul blue, right? I really like it. It's a little more rough because it is dyed. This one isn't dyed. It's super, super soft. It is marketed to be used with 3.75 to 4mm needles, so it is on the thinner side, but the gauge is pretty close to what it's supposed to be. So I did make a swatch, but I already unraveled that to get started with the sweater itself because I am very impatient and I'm currently reading a bunch of books for uni, so I was just listening to them in audio form and knitting up the swatch in the meantime. And the yarn is a little tight, but again, as I said, because of the amount of ease, I think it'll be fine. So I'm gonna show you right now where I'm at. We're doing stripes, and the stripes, we're going with pretty thin stripes, about 3 centimeters, which is a little under 2 inches per stripe. And I just think that goes really well with the model sweater and like the buttons, because it just gives it this kind of sailor look, right? I think wider stripes are more like a grungy sweater, and I wouldn't do that with like blue and white stripes. I think just in my head, blue and white stripes are thin, right? You know? So we're working the back short rows, and this is what we have so far. I really like the transition. I think it goes really well. I thought at first we were really looking for blue because Malabrigo yarns are hand-dyed yarns. When they are dyed, it's not as even as like unhand-dyed yarn. I don't know. So we were kind of looking for a blue that wouldn't vary as much in different tones. So this one I would say is pretty opaque. I mean, it's like the closest to like a fully opaque blue that we can find. And I don't know, yeah, it's azul. I really don't know how else to explain it. It's really like deep ocean blue, right? And working on it just because I'm excited to like see stripes form, and I love doing short rows. Hot take. So let's get started with that. I hope you enjoy the vlog. is so soft. Like everything Malabrigo is just so perfect. Like I don't know what else to say about it. It's just the most perfect yarn ever.
Huck and Jim have forged on the river. Why did Twain do this? Could he not think of a better ending? This continued even after the Civil War to believe that Huck and Jim could escape. My half-hearted defense of the ending. It's a big pivot from the rest of the novel. The territory ahead of the rest, Huck says. Because Aunt Sally says she's...
Sorry to interrupt Hank Green, but you're not here for Hank Green. It's working up so lovely. It is a little holy to say it in that way, but it is working up nicely. And if we spread it out just like entirely across my needles, if this doesn't fit my boyfriend's back, then he must be the Hunchback of the Notre Dame, because I don't know. It's gonna take ages to have this measure 30 centimeters. But you know what? I like working with stripes because each stripe is around 3 centimeters. For some reason, it feels like you're actually making progress. When this is all just one color, it feels like you're just knitting and nothing is changing. Whereas when you finish a stripe, you're like, that's an extra 3 centimeters. Like it feels like I'm actually adding length to it, right? Anyway, I'm reading Huckleberry Finn currently, and also Martavla, which is, I'm not gonna talk about it. Finn, like it so far, but it has to be finished in like a week, so I'm already watching some background info, which in this case is Crash Course Literature with Hank Green. He's kind of annoying, but it's good. You know, I like to be prepared for my classes, so I'm kind of watching that as a break from reading and working on this. I didn't think I had already done this much. It's going great. It's amazing. I'm a really big fan of this yarn. I like trying out new yarns, you know, and I'm really, really happy and really, really grateful that Malabrigo was like so quick to respond and be like, yeah, we want to send you more yarn. Like, we want to collab again. So love you, Malabrigo, so much. I'm excited. Currently, it's mostly like the excitement of like starting a new project, which I feel like might fade away in like 2 weeks, you know. Doing the short rows and like the back, it's when it's still exciting. Once you're like halfway through the body, you're like, fuck this. But now I'm still excited.
Thank God for these clips. Thank you, Anna, for giving me these. Anna?
So I have a little update on the sweater. I will be updating you more frequently every time I finish a step of the pattern. That's kind of my plan. Currently, we have 9 stripes, and conveniently, each stripe is 3 centimeters wide, and for this size, at least, I have to work until this back panel measures 30 centimeters. Because it's rolled up at the bottom, you can't really see where I worked my short rows, but there are short rows present. And I will update you in better lighting and with better clothing and no pimple patches when I have finished 2 more rows, and then it'll be 30 centimeters. And I must say, so far, really enjoying this yarn. Like literally every time I try a new Malabrigo yarn, I like them better than the last. I forgot the name right now, but this is, I think it's Alpaca and Merino. Not sure, don't quote me on that. But it is super flowy. I was kind of worried about using 4mm needles for this project because the yarn is a little thinner, but because my boyfriend's birthday is during the summer, I think it's going to be really nice that it's kind of a flowy garment, you know? It's going to be oversized and very flowy. It's going to be very different from stuff he usually wears, but hey, I like it, okay? It's going to be so I want to keep it for myself, honestly, but I should make another one for myself. I'm going to show you the piece, but I decided that I want to film like every single step that I do. So I finished like the back piece right here. This is 29.5 centimeters. It's actually 30 because each stripe is 3 centimeters, and I made 10 stripes. So now I have to increase 4 stitches total for the armholes, which is kind of annoying because I wanted to finish on a neat stripe before starting the front panels, because then it would be easier to match up the stripes. But I guess we're just gonna follow the pattern, and I'm just delulu enough to believe that everything is gonna be okay. Okay, so I still have to refresh like my hair and my makeup before I go out, but I am starting like the left shoulder, and I'm just weighing it, honestly, with how I'm going for the stripes, as you can see. I actually don't know, because whenever I have to set up for short rows, I get really confused because I'm left-handed. And although I knit normally with my yarn English style in my right hand, picking up stitches gets really confusing as a left-handed person. So I'm just hoping that I'm doing it correctly. I think I am, because it says your first row is a right side row, and that was the case for me. And I think I'm doing those short rows to create the neckline. The only thing I don't understand is why there are short rows. Because in most sweaters that I've made using this construction, like Petite Knit does, for example, like this is just knitted, you know? There's no need for the short rows. She just knits it. So that's why I hope I'm doing it correctly, because I just don't know what I'm supposed to look for, you know? So this is all on good faith. It's 7:30 right now, so I'm gonna start getting ready. And I probably won't take it with me to the bar, Amaldo, who knows. Yeah, I'm gonna try and be social and hang out with people. Hello. It's been a while. I'm in my car. Really tired. I'm in the parking lot at my job. I've never felt so American as now when I'm sitting in my car talking in a parking lot. It's currently 9:43 a.m. I have to get started at 10. But I was half an hour early because I always get scared that I'm gonna be late because I have to go on the freeway to get here. And then sometimes it's like really busy and sometimes it's not, and I can't estimate that. Anyway, it's been about a month or more since I updated you on the sweater because I had my exams and I've just been working on different projects in the meantime, because I was thinking, well, it's summer, so I need to get my summer shit done. So I made like a pair of shorts and I made a top, and I'm currently redesigning one of my designs. I'm reworking the seafoam top because I'm not happy with it. And I wrote it last year when I was just getting started with patterns, so I just feel like I can do better. This is what we have. We're working on the body. You can't really see it, but this is where the button band will go in the end. We only have like this much body so far because, as you can see, the sleeves are pretty big. I think I have to work 4 more stripes after this one, and then I have to work on the ribbing. The body has to be 57 centimeters, and then the ribbing has to be another 10. So it's definitely gonna be a big sweater. At least I'll be sure that my boyfriend fits in it. At least that's what it's supposed to be. I got my exam results yesterday, by the way. And I failed 1 out of 7 or 8, which isn't bad. Like on average, people have like 2 or 3 or even more fails, but my little goody two-shoes brain can't handle that I failed an exam. I failed 1 last semester as well, and I have to retake them in August or in September. I don't know yet, but the problem is I'm going to be in either of those 2 months. I'll be in Denmark, so I'll have to retake them digitally. But I failed my English grammar exam with a 9 out of 20. And I don't know how I could like retake a grammar exam via computer, but my professors just haven't answered any of my emails yet, so I'm still waiting on feedback. And I still want to like kind of figure out how I'm just gonna handle all of it. Like if I just could retake the exams here, it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but just like the idea of having to study for those exams again when I'm also doing the introduction days in Denmark for the university there, because I also have to move in my dorm. I have to open up a bank account. I have to get my social security number. I have to just go to class there. So it's not that evident, you know. I'm not just at home studying. Anyway, I think I'm gonna, like in a minute or two, I'm gonna finish up this round and then I'm gonna head in, because those people really love it if you're perfectly on time. Som ett charage. Boyfriend. What?
Голова.
Oversized?
No,
Or-
oversized, like it's loose.
Yeah? I think it looks
too
nice.
loose.
It's my human mannequin. There's like one stitch here that is asymmetrical where I changed the yarn. You look like Popeye. Big and burly strong man.
This place has is salt, pepper, and oil. So lots of time I've been deprived of food the last couple of days. It's solely my bad. Eating so many convenience store sandwiches.
I should eat more fruit and drink more water. I've barely eaten any fruit on this trip, and I barely drank any water, to be honest, because I did not bring a water bottle. Okay, sorry, I have to talk. I'm making a extra large for my boyfriend. I didn't get a chance to talk, and I honestly wanted to talk more about the process where I am at now when it was light outside, but I'll just give like a quick update. I finished the neckline, and as you can see, I did a little bit of it in blue because I got really impatient and I wanted to have the neckline finished before I boarded the plane so that my needles wouldn't go anywhere and I wouldn't lose any stitches. You won't see the blue because you fold the neckline inward and then sew it shut. I'm also really happy with the way the button plackets turned out. I did miscalculate something, so the one with the holes in it is a little wider than the other one, but that's fine because he's gonna wear it buttoned up most of the time anyway. What's most important to me is that it looks clean. I started on the sleeves, which is what I wanted to talk about now, and of course they're also gonna be striped, but I'm making the extra large and it's set to pick up 90 stitches. Looking at the pictures on Andie Knits Instagram, the sleeves look pretty oversized, but that's because she's a she and my boyfriend is a he, and he has big biceps. So I know the sweater is supposed to be a little oversized. It's not oversized on him, and we already made a size bigger than we thought we were going to make for him. So I thought 90 stitches was going to be quite a lot, but it feels like it's not going to be that big. So I'm gonna work like 4 or 5 stripes, I think, and then put it on a longer needle because these are shorties. And I'm gonna try it on him and see what he thinks, because I can widen it a bit with blocking, but I don't want to like stretch it too much because then it might like ruin the look a little bit. So we're gonna see what I'm gonna do, and if it's too narrow, I'm gonna have to start over and pick up more stitches because I feel like 90 is actually not that much, but we're gonna have to figure that out when I see him later and when I have a couple of stripes, because I do feel like I need a little bit of length to kind of measure how they're gonna look on his arms. I'm in the lunchroom at my job and there's nobody else in here, but I'm scared that somebody who is having like a meeting or something is gonna hear me. Okay, I'm so embarrassed. Like one of my other colleagues is gonna take a break in a little bit and I think he's gonna like find me here. Anyway, this is what we have for the sleeve so far. Because I am shortening the ribbing by like 5 centimeters because my boyfriend wants it to be a little shorter, because I do feel like female knitting patterns or like girly knitting patterns or meant for women or whatever have longer ribbing, around like 8 centimeters, whereas for men they do like smaller neck edges and they do shorter ribbing. So we're doing 5 or 6 centimeters for him, so my sleeve needs to be 41 centimeters and then I continue with the ribbing, but I'm probably gonna do 42 because, like, you know, it ends up nicely with 3 centimeter stripes. Hi. Sapphic sex on the telly. Anyway, this is all that I have left of my blue yarn. I thought I had a whole skein left somewhere when I left for Sweden. Came back home, turns out I don't have that, so this is all I have. I did, however, order extra white yarn because I thought I wasn't gonna have enough for the cuff, but I actually have much more than I thought I had, and I have half a sleeve left to go. Really doubting that this is going to be enough for another 3 stripes, I think. For another 4 stripes. And although I am decreasing a little bit, which saves me a little bit of yarn, I don't think that's going to be enough. And I really don't want to order another skein. I'm watching Decameron. De Camarone. A really weird show, but good, I guess. Today it was so incredibly hot. It must have been like 95 degrees or something. Horrible. I have to resit an exam next Monday, and so I have like a week to study for it, but it takes me quite a while because it's a pretty hard course. But it was so hot. Apologies if you can hear the fan in the background. In the span of one day, my hair got so greasy just because of how much I've been sweating. The only thing that the hot weather was good for was drying up my sweater that was blocking. I wet the sweater yesterday morning, fully drenched it in water. The sleeves were fine, so I only blocked the body, laid out the body on our lunch table or like our dinner table outside. Within 5 hours, completely dry, and it's perfect now. So the only thing that was still missing, or is still missing, are obviously the buttons. So the only thing I did today, the only time I went outside today was to go get buttons. That's the only thing that's left for me to do, is to sew up the buttons. So I'm just gonna do that right now and film that for you guys. And then I'm gonna try it on myself, not on my boyfriend. I will post pictures of my boyfriend wearing it though on my Instagram, but I just wanna put out this video before I move next week after the exam. So you'll just have to do with the try-ons from me. So I'm going to sew on the 3 buttons right now and watch some Downton Abbey downstairs where it is still relatively cool. Here are the buttons I picked, or actually my boyfriend picked them. I called him when I was in the store and I just showed them a whole lot. These are actually kind of thick. They have a flat side, not focusing. Oh yeah, they have a flat side, but they're like a little thick. I think they're kind of cute. Got 3 of them. Usually I'm not a fan of these two-toned buttons, but I think they just look the best with the sweater. And I had limited options because they had to be a certain size to fit the buttonholes, of course. So I'm gonna sew that right now while sitting in the garden. Hi everyone, this marks the end of my video. Thank you so much for watching until the end, and I want to thank Malabrigo once again for sending me another package of their yarn. I really love them very much, and I will link them in the description box down below, as well as the pattern by Andie Knits. I promise to post some pictures of a sweater on my Instagram, but for now, just enjoy the really awkward posing of me in my garden while it was still very, very hot. Sorry the intro or the outro is like this. I am currently studying for my exam, so I don't have time to film a real outro. So please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!